Kaspa's weekly RSI just hit its lowest level in history. The top wallet is adding millions while everyone else is panic selling. A viral post is now calling out the project's leadership, warning they're running out of time, and somehow the liquidation map shows all the fuel stacked to the upside. So what's actually happening here? Is this a bottom formation, or the beginning of something worse? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're trying to make sense of what's going on with Kaspa right now, you're in the right place. Go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's break down the data, the drama, and what it all means for your portfolio. According to Kaspa Daily on X, the weekly RSI has crashed to its lowest level ever recorded. We're talking oversold territory that screams capitulation. This isn't your typical dip. This is heavy sustained selling pressure that's wiped out months of gains. And moments like this don't show up often in crypto. They mark inflection points where either buyers step in or things get uglier. Now, oversold conditions don't guarantee a bounce. They just tell us that sellers have been relentless. The question is whether the market is finally running out of people willing to dump at these prices. Because if it is, we might be looking at a reversal setup. If it's not, well, you can guess where this goes. The liquidation map tells a different story than the price action. All major liquidity is stacked to the upside, climbing toward 9 cents. There's barely anything left below the current price. Translation: the market isn't positioned for a downside sweep. Leverage is light below, while upside levels are fully loaded. If momentum shifts, a move higher would have serious fuel behind it. But here's the catch. Liquidation maps show where traders are positioned, not where price will go. They're a signal, not a guarantee. And right now, that signal says most traders are betting on further downside, which means they're short or out of position. That creates asymmetry. A surprise rally could trigger a cascade of short squeezes and FOMO buying. Meanwhile, wallet number 1 just added another 3.1 million Kaspa yesterday. This whale has been on an accumulation spree while retail is running for the exits. That's classic smart money behavior. Buy when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own. The top holder clearly sees value here, and they're stacking aggressively. So, why is this whale accumulating while everyone else is panicking? Let's look at what's actually being built. USDC is now live on KaspaBridge Testnet. You can bridge USDC between EVM testnets and Kaspa fast, cheap, and smooth. Ethereum testnet is also live. The process is simple. Go to KaspaBridge.com, connect your wallet, select USDC testnet, bridge between supported chains, confirm the transaction, and you're done. This is infrastructure that matters. According to Kaspa Daily, Igra Labs just laid out a full roadmap for its next milestones. Open sourcing begins next week. Igra Node version 2 arrives in about 2 weeks, forming the base for mainnet. December 2025 brings the closed Igra mainnet live for community node operators. January 2026 introduces a Testers plus the token generation event with Igra distributed to validators. February 2026 delivers the whitelisted mainnet with partner integrations and liquidity. After that, final testing happens before the network becomes fully permissionless. That's a packed few months for the Igra ecosystem. So, Kaspa attracts attention because it runs one of the only production proof-of-work block DAGs out there. The system relies on GhostDAG, DAGNight. Many holders, well, they compare this to the early days of networks that grew slowly at first, before eventually attracting a wave of interest. The fundamentals are definitely evolving, even if the price isn't really reflecting it yet. Honestly, the recent weakness just doesn't match the development profile. Big cap tokens have fallen hard across the market and pulled many popular options with them. Kaspa sits in that group. The decline makes some assume that something must be going wrong inside the project, but the activity on the network shows a different reality. Builders are building, whales are accumulating, the tech is advancing. Andrew J. addresses this contrast directly in a viral post. He points out that Kaspa is one of the only production proof-of-work block DAGs. GhostDAG leads to DAGNight, which leads to Crescendo targeting 10 blocks per second. The Rust engine is pushing insane transactions per second. vProgs enable smart contract-style actions without bridges. New standards like KRC20 are expanding functionality. Infrastructure tools such as CastKeeper are rolling out. His point is simple. The technology isn't the source of the struggle. The price drop reflects the market cycle, not a slowdown in development. Industrial pilots such as Gigawatt Coin, ZX, Olive Chain, CASPIP, and KMIF continue testing real-world use cases. Wallet growth is rising. Node counts are expanding. custody options are multiplying. Developer activity keeps climbing. Projects that maintain this level of movement usually recover when market attention returns. The challenge is timing, and timing remains unpredictable in cycles like this. But not everyone is optimistic. A viral post by a prominent community member has raised uncomfortable questions about Kaspa's future. The warning is harsh. The project is running out of time to secure its long-term survival. The message outlines critical deficiencies in utility, branding and leadership, and honestly, it's worth taking seriously. The warning centers on several key issues. First, insufficient fundamentals. Kaspa's core technology is fast, simple, and secure, but that's no longer enough. Unlike competitors, Kaspa currently has no native smart contracts and no stablecoin ecosystem. Those are now baseline features for real utility. The project, honestly, risks becoming a relic in a market that's now so focused on artificial intelligence, DePIN, and on-chain assets. If you're just like a fast database with no real ecosystem, you're just not competing in 2025. Second, there's the issue of branding and communication collapse. The project is, well, suffering from an identity crisis. Its once strong branding and clear messaging have reportedly just collapsed. Official communication is described as scattered, inconsistent, and honestly, pretty directionless. So, this lack of clarity means Kaspa is, well, failing to communicate its value to the broader crypto market, and honestly, if you can't explain why you matter, you just don't matter. Third, a fractured community. The community itself is divided, struggling to agree on priorities and unable to present a coherent story to new investors. This confusion is stifling momentum. You can have the best tech in the world, but if your community can't articulate a unified vision, you're basically dead in the water. So, crypto is a narrative game as much as it's a tech game. Fourth, let's talk about market risk. The post warns of a pretty brutal scenario. If Bitcoin enters a bear market and crashes to, say, the $50,000 to $60,000 range, and no altcoin season materializes within the next 5 months, Kaspa actually risks falling back to penny-level pricing in 2026. That's not FUD, that's just math. Without a catalyst, without narrative, without utility, price discovery, well, it works both ways. You know, the warning here is really meant as a wake-up call, not like a death sentence. There's still belief in Kaspa from the community, but honestly, there's this fear that the project could be drifting toward irrelevance. The hope now is that key leaders will step in, refocus the messaging, and, well, restore the strong branding that once set Kaspa apart. The conclusion here is, pretty stark. If Kaspa can't resolve its lack of utility, weak communication, and internal divisions, it really does risk fading into meme status, just like Litecoin, even though the technology is promising. So here's my take. The data shows two realities. On one hand, you have whales accumulating, infrastructure expanding, and oversold technicals screaming potential reversal. On the other hand, you have leadership issues, branding collapse, and a community that can't agree on what the project even is. Both can be true, and that's what makes this moment so critical. The market doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about results. If Kaspa can ship smart contracts, attract stablecoins, and fix its communication before the next bull run, it survives. If it doesn't, it joins the graveyard of projects with great tech and honestly, terrible execution. The clock is ticking. The whales are betting on success. But whales can be wrong too. That's where we are with Kaspa right now. Oversold technicals, whale accumulation, infrastructure progress, and serious leadership concerns all happening at the same time. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you check out my other videos where I cover market cycles, risk management, and how to survive moments like this. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next update. And, drop a comment below. Are you bullish or bearish on Kaspa right now? I want to hear your take. And as always, nothing in this video is financial advice. Crypto is extremely risky. Only invest what you can afford to lose, do your own research, manage your risk, and never blindly follow anyone's opinion, including mine. Stay safe out there.